Elections in the United States have never been just about ballots and booths. They've often been a stage for chaos, controversy, and chilling moments that leave us questioning the very fabric of our democratic process. In this video, we'll delve into the top 10 disturbing moments from U.S. elections, where the stakes have never been higher, and the outcomes have often been anything but ordinary. From shocking political maneuvers to unsettling voter suppression tactics, these moments will make you rethink what you thought you knew about the electoral process. These aren't just random campaign mishaps. They're events that shook the very foundation of our democratic process. Let's get into it. Number 10. Eating dogs and cats.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating...
During the second presidential debate of 2024, Donald Trump wrongly claimed that Haitian migrants were eating dogs and cats in Springfield, Ohio. This statement caused widespread outrage and disbelief. His campaign, led by J.D. Vance, continued to promote this false narrative, which fueled anti-immigrant sentiment and created fear across the nation. As a result, Haitian migrants faced increased threats and harassment, while local residents experienced bomb threats and lockdowns in schools and hospitals. The mayor of Springfield, along with the state's Republican governor, urged candidates to stop spreading these unfounded claims, which they believed directly led to the threats. Number 9. A candidate's death. The 1872 presidential election was one of the strangest in U.S. history. Ulysses S. Grant, the current president, ran against Horace Greeley, a newspaper editor who was backed by both the liberal Republican and Democratic parties. The campaign was filled with harsh attacks, and Greeley's running mate, Gratz Brown, often showed up drunk. Tragically, Greeley's wife died shortly before the election. After losing, he was removed from his job at the Tribune and fell into a deep depression. He died in a sanitarium just weeks after the election, before the Electoral College could vote, which ended up being divided among several candidates. This election took place on November 5, 1872. Despite a split in the Republican Party, Grant won against Greeley. Number 8. Trump's return to X. Donald Trump has created a collection of unforgettable tweets during his time on social media. On January 9, 2021, he was banned from Twitter after the platform's CEO, Jack Dorsey, decided that his tweets posed a risk of inciting further violence. Trump viewed this ban as a major injustice. In 2022, after Elon Musk took control of Twitter, he conducted a poll and decided to reinstate Trump's account. Since then, Trump has focused more on his own social media platform, Truth Social. However, in August 2024, during a strange interview with Musk on X, formerly Twitter, Trump made some controversial statements that negatively impacted his media company's stock, causing it to drop nearly half its value. This situation led to billions in personal losses for Trump, raising questions about his business strategy. It's a risky move, and many are curious if it will pay off for him. Number 7. The missing votes of Hawaii. The 1960 presidential election was one of the closest in U.S. history. John F. Kennedy was declared the winner by the New York Times just before midnight on November 8th, while NBC News waited until the next morning. During the night, NBC used new computer technology to track results, and by 2 a.m., they sensed Kennedy might win. Kennedy, who began his political career young, had more experience than recent presidents. He won the election with 303 electoral votes to Richard Nixon's 219. But the popular vote was extremely close, with Kennedy winning by only 112,000 votes out of 68 million. Controversies arose, especially regarding voting in Illinois and Texas, where many believed fraud may have influenced the results. Nixon ultimately conceded the election on November 9th, stating that the country couldn't face a constitutional crisis. Despite this, questions about the election's fairness remain, and it significantly impacted future political dynamics. Number 6. Making America, Florida. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, has officially dropped out of the 2024 presidential race. He briefly campaigned with the unusual slogan, "Make America Florida." While we can't speak for what Americans really want, the idea of making America like Florida sounds more like a plot for a sci-fi movie, featuring wild adventures against tropical storms and alligators. In a humorous twist, it suggests that the real issues come from the government, not some apocalyptic scenario. Additionally, there are claims on social media that DeSantis stated Dominion voting systems would not be used in Florida. However, as of March 2024, Dominion remains one of the 2 vendors for Florida's upcoming election, and there's no evidence to suggest otherwise. Number 5. A terror campaign against poll workers. 2020. After losing the 2020 election, Donald Trump promoted the false claim that the election was stolen, leading to a campaign of terror against poll workers. This created a dangerous environment for election officials like Shaye Moss and her mother Ruby Freeman, who faced severe harassment and had to go into hiding due to false accusations in Georgia. The intimidation of election workers has raised concerns about how elections will be managed in the future, especially with election deniers being placed in important positions by the MAGA faction of the Republican Party. This could disrupt the electoral process in 2024. Many are frustrated that some elected officials prioritize loyalty to Trump over upholding the law and protecting voters' rights. Number 6. Russian interference. During the 2016 presidential election, Russia launched a coordinated effort to interfere with American democracy. U.S. intelligence warned Congress that Russia aimed to create division, undermine trust in the electoral process, and weaken Hillary Clinton's campaign while aiding Donald Trump. Russian military intelligence hacked and released thousands of Clinton's emails. The Mueller report found no evidence of collusion, but noted many contacts between Trump campaign staff and individuals linked to Russia, with some lying to investigators. The Cambridge Analytica scandal showed how data analytics were used to target voters with a flood of social media content, while Russia manipulated algorithms to spread disinformation and divisive messages. Number 5. The election couldn't prevent civil war. The Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854 created the territories of Kansas and Nebraska, allowing them to choose whether to allow slavery, which overturned the Missouri Compromise. Instead of reducing tensions, this act led to violent conflicts and set the stage for the Civil War. Debates between Abraham Lincoln and Stephen A. Douglas raised Lincoln's profile as he spoke out against slavery, gaining support from abolitionists. Although he lost the Senate race, he became the Republican nominee for president, advocating to limit slavery rather than abolish it completely. Many in the South viewed him as a threat, leading to the outbreak of war just months after he took office. The message remains that ignoring historical lessons can lead to repeating past mistakes. Number 4. The October Surprise Controversy. Did Ronald Reagan's campaign make a secret deal with Iran to delay the release of American hostages until after the election? While never conclusively proven, multiple sources have suggested that Reagan's team worried Carter would secure the hostages' release before Election Day, giving him a boost in the polls. The October surprise theory suggests that Ronald Reagan's campaign made a secret deal with Iran to delay the release of American hostages until after the 1980 election against Jimmy Carter. This theory arose from concerns that Carter might secure the hostages' release before Election Day, giving him an advantage. The theory gained some traction after the Iran-Contra affair in the 1980s, which seemed to support claims of secret dealings. Reports indicated that members of Reagan's team had discussions with Iranian representatives about delaying the hostages' release to embarrass Carter. However, the theory has never been conclusively proven, and various sources have debated its validity over the years. Number 3. Race riots. The election of 1876 was a key moment in U.S. history, marked by a fierce presidential race and social unrest over race relations. Rutherford B. Hayes, Republican, faced Samuel J. Tilden, Democrat. Although Tilden won the popular and electoral votes, disputes in several states led to a standoff, especially in the South, where Reconstruction policies were debated. This period saw race riots fueled by political struggles, racial hostility, and economic hardships for many white Southerners who unfairly blamed African Americans for their problems. Major riots erupted in New Orleans and Memphis, resulting in violence and loss of life. The Republican Party gained from the chaos, securing the presidency through the Compromise of 1877, which ended Reconstruction, while white supremacist groups like the Ku Klux Klan gained power. Overall, this election and the accompanying riots highlighted the deep tensions in post-Civil War America, shaping future race relations and politics. Number 2. The Midnight Judges election. The Midnight Judges refers to a significant event during the power transition in the United States after the election of 1800, where Thomas Jefferson, a Democratic Republican, defeated incumbent President John Adams of the Federalist Party. This election marked a peaceful transfer of power between rival parties for the first time. As Adams prepared to leave office, he aimed to solidify Federalist influence in the judiciary through the Judiciary Act of 1801, which allowed him to expand the courts and make last-minute appointments. On his final night in office, he appointed 42 judges, known as the Midnight Judges, to maintain Federalist control. However, many of these appointments were not finalized before Jefferson took over, resulting in significant legal disputes. This controversy primarily benefited the Federalists by allowing their policies to persist in the judiciary and increased the judiciary's role in shaping American law. Ultimately, it set the stage for the landmark Supreme Court case Marbury v. Madison, 1803, which established judicial review and enhanced the judiciary's power in the United States. Number 1. The debate of a lifetime. Anyone who watched the 2024 presidential debate between Biden and Trump probably deserves a government stimulus check for the emotional distress it caused. It was tough to sit through. The debate featured chaotic moments, like Biden discussing Medicare while making comments about jobs for Black and Hispanic Americans. Trump even joked about playing golf if Biden could carry his own bag. Overall, it's hard to find anything positive to say about this debate. It was simply awful. Let us know in the comments if you want us to share a list of the top 10 things we'd rather do than watch the Biden-Trump debate again. These disturbing moments remind us that democracy isn't a given. It's something we must actively protect and maintain. They show us how voter intimidation, violence, and manipulation have threatened our electoral process throughout history. But there's hope in learning from these events. Each crisis led to reforms and improvements in our voting systems. Today, we have more safeguards and transparency than ever before, though we must remain vigilant. If you found this video informative, please hit that like button and subscribe to MindQuest Academy. Leave a comment below sharing which moment you found most disturbing, or if you know of other election incidents that deserve attention.